Hello and welcome back. In the previous video, we already created this small extension with the Claude Code root page on the Magento 2 extension with the installed Hyvä theme. And within this page, Claude Code already created the title and the headline and also one small button, first without functionality. And we created this with the well-prepared context and prompt. And basically, if you would like to check the previous video about the context and also the first video about the quick start, feel free to check this as well. And within this lesson, I would like to talk about the Claude Code tools available to Claude. And also we will talk about the different permission settings and about the Settings.js file. So first of all, I would like to change the button style here. And for this, you can use the add symbol. So with the add symbol, you can reference to the file or directory within your project and within your workspace. And if you are referencing this, you have the possibility to add also prompt to the Claude Code Pro, and based on this file reference or directory reference, you can add your requirement. So for example, I will pick this text first and change to red, for example, and for this you can add the add symbol. So basically, if you are checking the project, so with the exit, you can quit from the Claude Code Pro CI, and then you can check your file system. And if you go to the source, where actually my Magento installation is already located, here you can also call the Claude. And if you started the Claude, then you can use the add symbol and then app code Claude Code test, and then front end and then view front end templates and then index.html. So you have here the reference. And if you open this file in the same time, app code, Claude Code test, view templates index, please change the H1 headline here to red. So with this, you are referenced to this file and then added your prompt. So we would like to display this H1 headline in the red color. And first of all, you will see that Claude Code is already reading your file. And here, Claude Code is already created these changes. So this div, and instead of using the text gray, they will use the text red. So it looks good. And here, in this time, the permission is coming into the game. So first of all, if the file is changed or changing via Claude Code Pro, you have these three possibilities. So first of all, Claude is already asking that, do you want to make this edit to index.html? And so you can accept these changes, or you can allow all edits during this session, using also with the Shift plus Tab. That means every edits will be automatically added without this double check window with the div. Or you can add and call no add and tell Claude what to do differently. So if you would like to add or change your prompt, And in this case, if you're checking the official documentation from Claude Code, there is a Claude Code tools available to Claude, and there is a tool, for example, the bash command, or in this case the edit, because we are editing the file, and in this case the targeted file will be changed via Claude Code Pro, and here there is an extra column with the permission required. So by the editing, Claude Code will ask you if they can edit this file or not. But this is the same for the bash command. So for example, if you are asking Claude, please run my project or start my project, what we already made in the first video lesson in this series with the bin start, or if you're installing the extension with the bin setup upgrade, then Claude Code will ask you every time if they can run this bash command. But for example, if you are using, or Claude Code is already using grep, in this case searches for patterns in the file context, or if you are searching for the file what is already made here, or by reading the file, in this case permission is not required. But for the reading it's not asked, and also if you are running sub-agent to handle complex multi-step task, then the permission is also not needed and required in this case. But regarding the sub-agent we will talk later. And here this is also for the write, creates or overwrite files. In this case the permission is also required and asked in this process. So here we can make these changes and we can apply this here, or clicking to the yes, and then if you apply this, then Claude Code will change this file. So let's click to apply. Then the file is also changed to red. And also Claude Code has the possibility to commit your code, or basically manage your Git history and create branches, push the changes, commit the changes, resolve merge conflict, and so on. So you can ask here Claude Code, then please also commit these changes. And as you can see, I already not using Git for this project, and here also the error that your current branch master does not have any commits yet. Since this is a new repository with no commit yet, I will add the modified file and create the initial commit. So Claude Code will also provide the initial commit with these changes. And in this case, for adding the file to this commit and creating the initial commit, we are using this bash command, or Claude Code is already using this bash command with the git add and then your changed file name, and in this case also asking, do you want to proceed? So if you are clicking to yes, then they will add this file, or yes and don't ask again for git commands, or you can add and select no and tell Claude what to do differently. But here in this case the git add looks good, so yeah, we can proceed with the yes. And also the next step, that the file is already added via Claude Code Pro, and then Claude Code is already provided the commit message with the git commit m, and then change h1 headline color to red in Claude Code test template. So it looks good, and this is generated with the Claude Code. So we can proceed with this, and then the file will be being ignored by git ignore. Let me check the git ignore file and add the file with force flag. So in this case also Claude Code is checking the git ignore file because it's also provided as a default file. But let me double check quickly this git ignore. So we have the problem here that the source is already ignored. So we can remove this and then add here the comment that the /source is not ignored anymore. Please process with source is not ignored anymore. Please process, and then your file will be pushed, basically. So you can stop the process every time and check the file manually. As in this case, we check the git ignore, remove the source, and then you can process with the pushing of these changes. But here we would like to not push this, because this is only my local project for presenting the Claude Code Pro possibilities. But you can imagine if your repository was already set up and this is the correct repository, then here in this case, after changing this git ignore, you can process with the pushing of these changes. But basically here, in the terms of this video lesson, I wanted to present that by the bash command, you will be also asked every time if you can also allow to push the file, create the branches, and so on. And this is asked every time in the bash command if you are accepting this, or you can also accept this in the session, and then you will be not asked anymore, and Claude Code can also provide everything automatically without asking you. Let's clear quickly the cache and check this also on the front end. And then go back to the front end. And the text is red. I wanted to show you, if you have some external document, for example on your desktop or in different folders, you can also copy paste this documentation into the Claude Code Pro CI. And based on this documentation or screen design, Claude Code can also provide better style for your element, or this information from this external document can be also used for your extension or for your coding process. And here I already downloaded one button, so like this, and I would like to use the same color for my button basically, and you can use this as a reference. So basically if you are copy pasting this here, so with the command C and then with the command V, you can paste this here, and please add the same background color using Tailwind CSS to my button from the template. And then here once again you can use the @ symbol and then reference to the app code Claude Code test view front-end templates and then index.html. Just change the background color. So, and based on this, we reference to this image and also reference to this file and added the prompt between. So, and if you are hitting enter, then you will see it's changed to the red color from the blue. And basically before we are checking this on the front end, I wanted to explain you about the Settings.json file. So basically you can allow the editing with the sending to yes, but here also by the second point, yes, and allow all edits during this session. So if you are selecting this one, then basically every edit process in this project will be automatically proceeded with the Claude Code Pro, because basically if you are checking the Settings.json file, then this will be created, and here this is actually basically the managing of the different permissions, and here you have the allow array and also the deny array, and basically here as you can see the bash command with the npm run lint and the test will be allowed, also reading this file type, but for example checking or actually reading the env file and also the files from the secret folder is not allowed anymore, because this permission is set in the Settings.json. So basically this is your project settings are saved in your project directory in the Settings.json. And if you have also created the settings local JSON, this is for the settings that are not checked in, useful for personal preferences and experimentation. Claude Code will configure Git to ignore it. So Basically, this is for your local reference and settings about the different permissions. But here I can allow these changes, yes. And instead of using blue, it's changed to red. And let's clear the cache. Then the color is also changed because we use this as a reference file. So this was the presentation about the tools available in the Claude Code, and also we talked about the Settings.json, and also I added this image as a reference, and based on this image we already changed the background color for this button, also used the @ symbol, and with this we reference to this file and added the correct prompt to this file. And in the upcoming lesson, I would like to also extend this file with the usage of the Claude Code Pro, and we will also discover another modern tools and possibilities with the usage of the Claude Code Pro. And if you would like to know more about the Claude Code Pro, please don't forget to subscribe into my new YouTube channel. And also, if you liked this content, please send me a like and hit the like button. With this, you will help me and support me, and I can also create more and more content for you, and I can also help you to grow in this area. And because I think AI will not replace the developers, AI will just help us to create better code and documentation, and also AI will help us to automate some boring task, and we can only focus on the most important part, and we can create really nice and modern extension with the help of the Claude Code Pro or some another AI tool as well. So stay tuned and see you in the next video lesson.